Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to this session. In this session, I would like to revise, recap all the contents which I have covered in the previous session. We had a wonderful story written by Masthi Venkatesha Iyengar, our teacher. The story, in fact, made all of you contemplate and really introspect into so many things, which has brought a new enlightenment in the lives of all of us. This is Professor Krishna from Government First Grade College, Kadgodi, Bangalore. In today's session, I will take you through the revision, the recap of all the content which has been covered so far. Masthi Venkatesha Iyengar, his lesson, his wonderful story has really given a lot of food for thought. One really feels like introspecting his or her student life. Then definitely we all think about our teachers, our favorite teachers, and we also get an opportunity to look into our childhood, our schooling education, and things like that. But in this final session for this lesson, our teacher, I would like to give you definitely some kind of a revision which will help you to understand and appreciate much better. Yes, in this session, we will have a revision of the story. We will summarize and then we will also look into the grammar component of this lesson and certain multiple choice questions which will help you to analyze, which will help you to understand and test your learning for the session. Now, let me start with the brief revision of this story. Our teacher. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅವರ್ ಟೀಚರ್. This is a story of a very humble school teacher who is afraid of two persons in his life. His better half, I mean his wife, and then the school inspector. These two persons have really had a very impact, remarkable impact on the life of our teacher. But the problem here is he's not able to afford the basic necessities of life, even such as salt. And obviously, the wife's anger has definitely been justified because he has to take lot of interest and lot of responsibility when it comes to running his home. But the teacher is unable to live up to the expectations of his wife because he's totally a humanitarian, and his humanitarianism definitely overreaches, and he has been liberally giving away his money also to people in need at the cost of neglecting his home. Obviously, the wife's anger is justified, and we find that the teacher, he is an epitome, he is a personification of simplicity and kindness. These are very rare commodities in modern society. We don't find people with these wonderful qualities in modern society. Most of the people of the modern society are very much materialistic in nature and really don't have time for human relations or interpersonal relations. So these kind of things can only be understood and appreciated in the life of this teacher. And the teacher here in the story, she has all the reason to go up to the school and lodge her protest in public so that her husband, the teacher, becomes more responsible and becomes more aware of his responsibilities at home. But at this point of time, the school inspector arrives, and the school inspector is a little surprised as to find a slightly older pupil, a girl who is slightly above the age of the normal school children. So the inspector calls her a matured one, which is definitely not taken very kindly by the teacher's wife. Later in the part of the story, the school inspector, he admits that perhaps I did a wrong thing. I should not have called that girl a matured one. Definitely, this is one point of the story which speaks about the realization of the inspector. He also considers the plight, the difficult conditions of running a school in a rural society. And going back a little, we find that the previous inspector who had visited the school had caused enough reason for Gauri and Saraswati to have some kind of a rift between them. He had asked a question about the river. What is a river? And Gauri's answer was typical bookish answer. She read books on geography by a very famous author called as Raghunath Rao. Her answers were bookish, but the answers were definitely precise, accurate answers. The school inspector wanted to probe further, and he asks for the question of origin of the river, to which Gauri could not answer satisfactorily. As a result of which, Saraswati, the good looking average student, gets an opportunity to give a very good answer based on her common sense. The water here and there gets collected and flows in the form of a river. So, this kind of a common sense answer, observation, has definitely uh, helped her to win over the heart of our school inspector. He is impressed and he appreciates with a big shabash to Saraswati. So, this actually creates some kind of a jealousy between Gauri and Saraswati. So, this is one aspect of the story. And then later, we find that the teacher, after a very long gap, tries to meet his student, a girl student named Sitama. Sitama's husband actually was very instrumental in getting the promotion and the salary hike which the teacher was supposed to get a long time back. So this was one kind of a Guru Vandana, I would say, which the student has been able to give back to the teacher after a very long time. But the tragedy in the story is, at this happy occasion, the teacher was unable to give back anything to his family because his wife was no more. She was dead. She left behind a girl child, and she was not there for the teacher to share his happiness. In the last paragraph of this story, you will read that if his wife was alive, he would have bought her a beautiful sari and he would have gifted this sari to his wife. Such was the affection which this teacher had for his wife. But unfortunately, we could not have this opportunity for doing this act. So the teacher definitely could not happily give anything to his wife at that point of time. The teacher's wife was no more. And coming to the prepositions, a preposition is a word that is used to connect a noun, pronoun to another word in a complex sentence. Prepositions are very important. So these prepositions, they show the relationship between the noun to the other word in the sentence. And as you know, the types of prepositions, we have simple preposition, the compound, the phrasal preposition, and also the preposition of time, the preposition of position, and the preposition of motion. So this is a brief revision of all the types of prepositions which we had covered in the earlier sessions. Now, to test our understanding, our comprehension, I would like to give you a few multiple choice questions in this session so that we can assess our learning, our comprehension. Now, I will start a few multiple choice questions which you can answer. Here we have some questions here for you. Yes, very simple one. I live in Bangalore. You have to use the right preposition here. Is it of Jayanagar? Because, from, or at? I live in Bangalore. At Jayanagar is the right answer. Because Bangalore is a very large place, so you need to use in, and Jayanagar is a particular place, a very specific place. So at is used. In for a bigger place and at for a specific place. The next question here. His relative is dash Kerala. Is it about, for, from, or under? His relative is from Kerala. His relative is from Kerala is the right preposition. Ram is dash his books. What is it doing? The right preposition, is it at, from, or looking for? Ram is looking for his books. Now you need to correct the following sentence with the appropriate preposition, the right preposition for the underlined word. The new clerk is not fully acquainted by the college. So by is the underlined word, and you need to use the right preposition, the appropriate preposition. The new clerk is not fully acquainted. Is it with, for, or behalf? So what could be the right answer? Think. The new clerk is not fully acquainted with the college. It's the right answer. So going further, you need to correct this sentence with the following, with the appropriate preposition. Arun is married with Asha. Now the underlined word is with, and you need to use the appropriate preposition. So what is the appropriate preposition? Is it to, from, or before? Arun is married with, you need to correct this with, so what is the right answer? Arun is married to Asha is the right usage of preposition. I hope that you got a fair idea about the types and the usage, the appropriate usage of prepositions. Now, some questions on this story, our wonderful story by Masthi Venkatesha Iyengar, our teacher. So, we have one beautiful question here. The inspector's question created a rift between which of the following girls? Is it Sita and Gauri, Lakshmi and Gauri, or Gauri and Saraswati, or none of the above? Think again. What is the right answer? The inspector's question created a rift between C, Gauri and Saraswati. So these two good friends became very jealous of each other. Gauri was a serious student, Saraswati was an average student, but the inspector's appreciation towards Saraswati created some kind of a jealousy between Gauri and Saraswati. The next question. In order to save children, the teacher killed which of these animals? Was it a rat, a tiger, a cobra, or a tiger? Awesome. The tiger is repeated again. So, what could be the right answer here? The teacher had killed. Yes, it is the snake, the cobra. So the teacher was very practical and he wanted to save children who were there on the road, and so he takes this tough decision, although he knows that killing a snake is very sinful act. The next question. What did the inspector call the teacher's wife unknowingly? The inspector had a very casual remark about the teacher's wife. What was that casual remark about? Did he call her a mature one, or immature, or childish, or silly? What could be the right answer? Do you remember it well? Yes, your answer. Here it is. The inspector had called the teacher's wife as a mature one. The next question. The teacher gets a promotion later with the help of which of his students' husband? This actually is there at the end of the story. So the choices given here are, is it Sita's husband, Gauri's husband, or Lakshmi's, or Saraswati's? So here the right answer is, it is Sita's husband who has helped the teacher to get his promotion and all the salary which was due for him. The last question for this session. During the inspection, the teacher was afraid that he would lose his. A very easy one. Obviously, yes, it is your time to guess. The teacher was afraid that he would lose his job because he was very apprehensive about the inspector, that he would give an adverse report which might cost his job and which could seriously have a negative impact on his family and his personal life. So with these questions and with these meaningful answers what we have got, and a lot of food for thought now has been left for you. I hope that I was at least helpful to you in a way to understand this beautiful story of our teacher. I hope that all these sessions, one after the other, were of some help, at least for uh, for all of you. In fact, I wish that more and more reading would definitely make things simplified and easier. I wish all of you happy learning, and please carry on with this wonderful journey of learning. Thank you all for giving me a very patient hearing. I hope that I have been able to do at least something from my side. Thank you all.